Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Oshi no Ko Season 2, Episode 3. So, the last time we had some intricate depth into that's probably not the right way to say it, but either way, the process of this play that's going to be going on, the background of it, we had the game of telephone with what the original creator wanted for it and wanted changed and everything, how it got skewed as it went down the line. That was really interesting. We also learned a lot about scriptwriters and how they are often let go or whatnot because they don't see eye to eye with the original creator and they just want them gone, kind of like what happened in the episode. I feel bad for the guy. He actually ended up keeping his name in the credits, which I'm a little bit worried because now if he's credited as like a scriptwriter and if what's her name, Abiko, doesn't do a good job, then like, go away, software update. No, sorry, I have notes on my phone that I read to remind myself of names and stuff, and then my phone decided to be like, hey, we should update. Nope. But if Abiko does a bad job, then he might get some backlash. He was talking about how there's often a lot of backlash and how scriptwriters almost can't win. Either they go against the source material and people don't like it, or they copy the source material to the T and people say the scriptwriter just did nothing because he just copied the source material and he gets no credit. It's like, so it's definitely a rough world out there. So, but very interesting stuff. We also got to learn a little bit more about Melt and his motivations, and I thought that was really cool because I think everyone should learn from that, where he was wanting criticism so that way he can improve. Because I firmly believe that constructive criticism is very good. I never think that anyone is at their fullest potential. I think everyone has room to grow and improve at whatever they are doing, even if they excel at it. And I think a little bit of constructive criticism shouldn't be taken as an insult and people get mad, like what often happens, but instead people should take it, own it, and learn from it. So, yeah, with that, let's get started with this episode. We're going to start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Right into the opening. I really like the way, like, the cast of characters has developed. Like, I like how I never thought I'd see Melt again, yet he came back so strong as a character. Or at least to me, it's a strong character because I like his motivations and stuff. I do like we have the kids grown up in the opening watching like an eye performance still. But then here towards the ending we have I watching the kids grown up performing. I don't know why it's still so funny having the scene of like the these characters being like shocked and the Abiko like with tears like and then we just cut to like Ruby, you know. uh, just all cheery, not a care in the world. Wait, what? That can't be right, right? That's something different in Japan. Ah, yeah, fair. Now that's bragging. Busted, huh? Nice, bro. Oh no. Find us more jobs! Oh, she wants to be even more a part of the conversation. Uh, that's thing. So, because of that. Oh, speaking of. Oh, well, maybe they can do a concert now. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. The date to a play. Table tennis? Ping pong? Oh. Ah, cool. They're gonna anime the shit out of plays for me right now, aren't they? Holy. Damn. Okay, they really concise that down. They're like, we already have one elaborate play. We're not gonna give you the deets on another 50 times. Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. Does Japan really have plays like that now? I don't think we have shit like that here. If we do, it's not in any of my area. We have some plays that go on, but they're just normal, like, kind of theater seating. It doesn't move or anything. Wow. He liked it. She's so happy. Oh, I just love seeing Akane so happy after like what we've seen of her in her story. Oh, hey. I didn't write everyone's name down, so Prida. There we go. Oh, nice. See, once. So he saw that from inside. Do it again. Does he even know? I don't know if I know what kind of face I was making. Those ice cubes are wild. Uh, hmm. Wow. Wow. Ah, nice. Uh, so they're still trying to keep his name in the credits, but also him doing the script writing. But they're saying it's not like going well. Abiko's being stubborn. Hmm. Is that just supposed to be a little bit of extra hair on the back of his neck? I don't know why I noticed it, but the back of his neck almost looked like frayed or something in that scene. Right? Yeah. Mmm. Got a little glow in his eye. Okay. Give things a little nudge. We'll see what he does. Sometimes Aqua's little nudges are a little more than little nudges. But this is her home. Makes sense. Yeah, she doesn't like you. Oh, he's trying. Youngins. Nice observation, Aqua. He's got some kind of plan, I feel like. Ah, hey. We haven't seen him in a little while. Hmm. Okay. To try to get to her to get to Abiko. Nice. That seems fun. Yeah. I've heard of some of the horror stories and stuff with weekly output and stuff like that. Hmm. Damn. Yeah, I got a bit of that confidence. Kinda had a bit of that as a kid, too. Not letting it come to an end. Must go on forever. That's just one piece of the puzzle. Sorry. Stupid. Hmm. Yep. I was just saying, happens kinda when she was younger. Oh, just going straight for it. Hmm. Ah, is that part of why she's so pushy too? She doesn't want this to turn out like Sweet Today. Wow. Damn. She really has a pessimistic outlook. Hmm. A little bit of jealousy there. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Hmm. Oh, Aqua had a backup plan, or this was his plan all along. She working her ass off, trying to do everything herself. Hmm. Damn, she's really pushing herself. Damn, she's just doing everything herself. Look at her eyes, yeah. Damn, man, really? Damn. Oh. Hmm. So we haven't had the delivery. Might not be the best time to do it. Yeah. Hmm. About to get nasty. Hmm. Damn. Yup. I knew it was gonna come down to her being more successful. I knew she was gonna use that. Damn. Oh, they're hashing it out. Due to reader opinion. Hmm. Freaking like battle music in the background. Hmm. I'm really curious what Aqua gave. I don't know if we're gonna see it. Damn. Little Miss Extrovert. Oh. They finish up. Hmm. Damn. I like the ink on the hands. Hmm. Meet them halfway. Ugh, are we gonna get Aqua's note? Hmm. I usually go for the approach of, as an introvert myself, not talking for the most part. Hmm. I wonder if she never watched to the end because she might have said that during there was a lot of dialogue. Oh, nice. That makes sense. Actually, earlier in the episode, I was thinking Abiko needs to see this. Okay, cool. Man, that episode felt longer, but I guess I had a little bit longer of an opening. I think it was a little longer, actually. I think usually the outro starts at 23 or 24 minutes, is actually like 25 and a half minutes. Anyway, I mean, it was a great episode, so. Um, yeah, so before I talk about anything else, one of the first things I want to talk about before I forget because I didn't write it down is the training is really funny. How she doesn't want to put the work in to train someone because they're bad, or when she tries, she's too hard on them and they leave, right? My dad is very similar. My dad runs a plumbing company. It's mainly just him, but a lot of the times he gets help, and when he gets that help, he hires people that know nothing about plumbing, but then within like the first few weeks to a month, if they don't know how to do everything themselves, he's mad. You know, and everyone tries to tell him it takes longer than that to teach someone how to do something. And on top of that, I don't think my dad's very good at teaching people. I could be wrong, but at least from what I've seen of him, he's not very good at trying to explain what he means when he's talking about something. But anyways, that is it, guys, for episode 3. But yeah, either way, I've seen what Abiko is doing before with my dad, where hires someone and isn't happy with him, just complains about him nonstop. Granted, usually my dad's like too nice to fire him; he'll just deal with them. But I think he does start to get snappy with them, and then they end up leaving. So people really are like that, and makes sense. So but yeah, starting from the beginning, we had now they said that, right? Like in the beginning, let's go past this opening. And she said, let's see here. The first line she says, "We're in Playboy." I'm assuming, like I said, I'm assuming that is something different in Japan than it is in the US. I don't even know if Playboy is still in production in the US, but yeah, Playboy in the US, I mean, I'm sure, I guess if some of you are too young and don't know, but it was basically like nudie magazines, from when you were a kid before, really the internet and everything, or at least when I was a kid. Granted, I was like just past the age, like by the time, and like if I got into that kind of thing, I probably would have as a kid. It was probably still around, but I never really got into Playboys. When I started to get old enough to really take an interest in that kind of thing, I had access to the internet, right? Not great access to the internet, but it was there. But anyway, so I imagine it's something different in Japan, and I can't imagine these high school kids are like freshmen in high school are in a nudie magazine, So as idols, I just thought it was funny when I wonder if that's a translation issue. Like, did someone choose to put Playboy there as a word when they were translating this, and it means something else in Japan? I don't know. Either way. Excuse me. But we had a little bit about Bikomachi as well, and that Kana having the play is making them have to go on hold with concerts and stuff, so that's kind of rough, I didn't really think about the impact on Bikomachi with what Kana is doing, but it makes sense if she has to dedicate herself to this play, that she wouldn't necessarily be able to be going to concerts and preparing for multiple things at once. Anyway, with that, we also had the conversation while they were eating, which was really interesting, about how all of these creators being in the same like school environment, and how if they talk about their work with each other, it can sometimes come off as bragging, and that's really interesting to point out. We kind of had it's kind of a theme of this episode too, of like the ego of creating and stuff like that too. Same with Abiko being overly proud and surrounded by yes men with what she's accomplished and everything. But here we had Frill and I can't remember the pink hair girl's name. I apologize, but yeah, we had them kind of mentioning that, and then I like how Frill just casually was like, "Oh, I got DM'd by some like actor guy, and they said they heard that he was like a player, right? Like contacting her in DMs and all that." And they're like, "You're totally bragging," and she's like, "Oh, he got me." So, oh man. And then we obviously cut to Aqua, just like, and I'm sorry, Ruby talking to her, her mom, her adoptive mom, and being like, you know, make me more famous. I want more things to brag about. So that was pretty funny. Um, we had them go to the play, which was really cool. It was really cool having. I mean, we didn't get to see too much of it. They gave us like a little taste of what it could be, and other than that, it was really just Aqua describing it. But it was pretty cool. Just like, as much as anime is going to anime intensify something, I still don't think I would fully enjoy a play. Maybe with the whole like rotating audience, and I think he said like the curtains were like monitors as well. Um, which all that is used for the transitions and making it so you don't have to like take that pause while they move things around and all that. That was one of the things that Aqua complained about, was taking you out of the scene by having it like fade to dark, have them run around, change all like the background around, and then they continue. Whereas they can just rotate to the next one and they can do all that, while the other scene's going on. It's very neat. Like I said, I don't think we have anything around here that's like that. Most of our plays are very old school. Most of them are like, just like, I don't really know that too many new plays. I could be wrong. I'm not following that scene, but a lot of it is just replays of plays that already exist, like Cats and stuff like that, and it's all just in a, basically a movie theater, essentially, with the chairs don't spin like that. I'm jealous. I think that could be pretty cool, though. Now, I don't know if it would turn me into someone who would want to go see a ton of them, but I wonder if plays are that popular in Japan that they've like evolved to that point. Pretty neat. But yeah, so I also just really, I know I said it during the reaction, I really loved Akane being happy. Like, just the enjoyment she got out of that. She seems like she's been doing very good. I don't know if any of that past stuff is ever going to come back up in the show. I'm sure there's still aspects of it she has to live with, but yeah, just seeing her. I mean, we have so many characters where we're getting to see their darker sides, you know, their darker moments. We have Kana and Abiko. We had this episode where we started to see like a little bit of their, you know, their personal lives and stuff like that, and it can get really sad. So it's really nice just to see. I mean, I don't know what Akane's, you know, personal life is like these days when she's behind closed doors alone, but at the very least her outward appearance has just been so cheery and happy after what she went through. Makes me so happy, especially like, can you imagine like if what she did actually, you know, if she succeeded at what she attempted, she would have never been able to experience some of these things and get to this level of happiness again. And I just hope for anyone who is going through stuff like that they can, you know, make it through it and eventually find this kind of happiness as well. I know it doesn't always end this happy for a lot of people, so but yeah, very cool. And then obviously we get into the whole stuff about mangas and how like weekly mangas shouldn't exist. It's really interesting. I'm assuming this wasn't a weekly manga because it wasn't like a long running one. I just wondered if like if the mangaka who wrote this had ever done a weekly manga, or maybe knows people that have been plagued by weekly mangas. But it really felt like a PSA in this episode where they're like, they shouldn't exist, like no human should be forced to do this. And it really shone a light on what they go through sometimes with how backed up Abiko was. And you know, I mean, obviously, maybe it's a little bit of her own fault that she is so hard on her temps, so that, or you know, or training, you know, the trainees. I was trying to think of the right word. And maybe if she was a little easier on them, they would eventually get it right, and then she'd have someone that was skilled enough to accomplish. But also, they talked about the level of detail that she's putting into every chapter and everything, even though she's weekly. And that's the problem, is when you start building up that expectation, it gets harder and harder to break it the longer you do it. So it really makes sense that she found herself in this situation, and the fact that like I think this was one of her like first creations and it ended up becoming so famous. So she really hasn't experienced that, you know, like we had the sensei here. Sorry, I don't remember her name, but the one that wrote Sweet Today. And she was saying like, you know, 2 out of 3 that you write are just like trashed, like they're just not good and everything. Whereas we have Abiko here, who's, you know, the first one she wrote is amazing, and that's the one she's stuck with. She hasn't experienced that failure, and because of that, she has to try to live up to everyone's expectations and make it perfect. And then she's also dealing with seeing Sweet Today become an anime and seeing how poorly that went and everything. So I can understand all of her feelings in regard to this. Now, the extreme, like, cockiness she developed, obviously it was kind of like a front for what's going on in her life and everything, but I definitely am not a fan of that, where she, you know, I just knew it, because that's what happens when people who are overconfident start getting pressured by someone, is they resort to comparing themselves to other people and bragging about themselves, and I just really don't like that. It's not, I mean, just like just like Sensei said, she was like, if you do this to other people, they're just gonna write you off. Like, they're just not gonna want to interact with you again. And I completely agree with her saying that, because that's the kind of thing where I would not, like, if Abiko was my friend and we had like the smallest little argument, and then she started saying, "Oh, well, I make more money than you do," and stuff like that kind of thing to me, I'd be like, "Okay, bye. I'm not going to be your friend anymore," you know? Because I'm not going to have these cancer people in my life that just try to like bring me down at the first time that I try to help them, right? And that's what she was trying to do. Sensei was trying to help her, yet she just had to snap back because she wasn't getting everything she ever wanted. She didn't have that yes man telling her, "Yes, Abiko, will do whatever you say," just like everyone else has. So I did want to. There was a lot of dialogue, so I apologize that I may have missed a little bit. But I also really like that line. I just skimmed past it. Can I get it up again? Man, I don't think I can. But, like, holding... Oh, aren't you just holding the quality of your work hostage and running away from proper communication? I really like that line. But I do appreciate, as much as what Abiko said in that moment pissed me off and made me, like, you know, there was a part of me, I was like 50-50 where, like, I understood Abiko, and then there's another part of me that was like, I really don't like her, you know? But she apologized after she was sleep deprived. I've said or been, like, tired and frustrated before, and I've said some things that I, like, didn't mean to, and I actually find myself really trying to not talk. Like, if something someone is saying, a lot of times I'm on Discord with friends, if something someone is saying on Discord like frustrates me, I try to just like, and I'm tired and I know I'm like a little grumpy, I just try not to say anything these days. But yeah. They talk about Sweet today a little bit though. Letting them do that, do you have no pride? Makes me angry from someone outside the project. Everyone's working hard. Maybe forgotten since your praise is a genius or wizard or whatever. But if you or I create 3 manga series, 2 of them will be dull. Yep. And it just shows like a book of like rejected storyboards. It's cool. You entrusted your TV drama with them. I was trying to see if she mentioned not finishing it. They get into the introvert conversation. With the introvert conversation is really funny because, I mean, obviously there's different levels of introvert. It's very possible Sensei is an introvert, but she can do things like those dinner parties and still manage, whereas, you know, Abiko seems to be a deeper level of introvert where she can't really manage that kind of interaction, right? So, I think I'm an introvert, but if I get thrusted into a situation like one of those dinner parties, I feel like I can act relatively normal, you know? So it's one of those things where I feel like I'm good at putting up a front and not letting my introvertness show, if that makes sense. But really, like, I mean, I guess also when I'm out in public, a lot of times, like, when I go to family gatherings and stuff like that, I'm quiet. I'm, like, sitting off to the side, just chilling, waiting for it to be over, right? But I still go. I don't just shut myself away from it and say, like, I can't handle that kind of thing. Because the truth is I can handle it, I just don't want to, right? Like, sure, I don't want to be there, but I'm capable of doing it. But either way, it might have been in there somewhere. I apologize if I missed it. There was a lot of dialogue. I was trying to take some notes. I was trying to talk about some of the stuff that was happening, so it wasn't just me reading dialogue for a whole episode without saying anything. So there may have been a line where I missed it, but in the end, she did watch that final episode and kind of like lit up a little bit. So, and they talked about compromises and things like that. So hopefully, you know, she has that. And then she was also going to the play, which I mean, like Aqua was saying, like she's writing this thinking it's going to be in a school gymnasium, and she has no idea the level of depth that goes into like the, you know, what goes on, like those curtain monitors, the rotating stage, and all these different aspects with like, you know, just like the wind blowing in, or he even said like the wind no, and then it showed them like hitting. So I don't know if it was just like the actual movements from the actors that was like doing a little bit of air movement within the place or whatnot, but yeah, so I like that his response, it's not even like let me try to convince her, it's not even let me talk to Sensei and try to get Sensei to convince her like Akane did. No, it's here, give this to her. As simple as that. Just give her tickets to go see a play, and she's gonna go see that play, and I have a feeling she's gonna be like, I can't write something for this, like as a newbie, you know? So hopefully we get some collaboration between Goa and her, and maybe they hash out some of the stuff that she really doesn't like, and maybe she just has to settle for some of the things she's like, I'm not a big fan of this, but I can deal with it, you know, and come to a compromise. So very good episode. I very much loved what they did with Abiko's character, even though it made me, you know, in times not be the biggest fan of her. But in the end, when she apologized and everything, and putting myself in her shoes, I can understand why she was the way she was. So it doesn't make me like hate her or anything. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see 2 more episodes ahead. Links in the description below should be popping up on the screen. And I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.